Hello everyone! We're starting this off quite well, but yeah, we're going to see which ninja bit about a ninja transformer. Because, of
Do
course,
they ninja? Do they ninja good?
we're about to find out, aren't we?
Alright, let's find out.
Are you ready, Fable?
That could be your title. Do they ninja good?
I'm not gonna put that in the title. Anyway. Yeah, some ninjas are good at what they do. Scorpion, I'm surprised, is what is considered a good ninja.
What about Sub-Zero? Ain't he like a ninja?
Kinda.
I mean, he's basically the same thing as Scorpion, ain't he? Just with freezing powers, ain't he?
They're from different clans.
Yeah, but they basically do the same exact thing, just different clans, right?
No, not really, as far as I know.
Oh, I thought they did the same exact thing.
Well, Scorpion's clan was wiped out, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
The freaking...
The center bar over it now.
The Metal Gear Vengeance guy.
Because you call him a cyborg
I'll
ninja,
always
but
be
he's not
surprised
really a
with the
ninja.
choices that our patrons have when it comes to voting on topics. Because rather than a witch ninja on Psylocke from Marvel Rivals,
Huh.
you know, the real successor to Overwatch in more ways than one.
Better than
As well as
Overwatch.
the yokai hunters on Monster Hunter Wilds, which, come on man, it's a new main title in Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
Instead, the majority asked to go back in time by 40 years to look into one of the most bizarre
course.
transformers of Gen 1, Nightbird.
because
A
it's
human-made
Transformers.
female robot ninja
I'm
ball
sorry,
fights
but
that can-
but those new video games in
Everybody
Monster
loves
Hunter could never compete with the popularity of Transformers.
Yeah,
That-
everybody
that's-
loves Transformers.
That's just how it is.
gave the Autobots a run for their money. And you know what?
Okay.
I couldn't be happier. Maybe it's my very real nostalgia for Transformers. Maybe it's
Transformers.
considering this is a ninja character from the 80s, things are gonna go off the rails in a matter of seconds. Or maybe it's the fact that I've spent way too much time watching another
I'm guessing the
YouTuber who has a
Nightbirds were
self-proclaimed
like part
unhealthy
of the
relationship with
Decepticons?
Transformers. And who also
I've never seen them before, so.
We're gonna eventually have to watch some of his videos, because he goes over a lot of stuff. He has a series of videos on the Sharknado series of videos. Or on the
Talking about
Sharknado
Gaijin
movies.
Goobla?
No. Oh, here, Pointless Hub.
Oh, okay.
Maybe one day we'll watch his Transformer videos. But anyway, into we go.
also speaks in reused static PNGs. But seeing so many wanting to hear about our take on Nightbird
Some of
really
them.
got me
He
going.
does get
So,
some new ones.
can I help you?
Dude,
Vine
we
Boom.
can't just talk about Nightbird.
Okay?
I
Why?
mean, this is Witch Ninja. That's kind of what we do on the show, right?
Correct, but there's way too much in this episode that I have to talk about besides just Nightbird.
What?
Not only does this one episode have some of the most meme-worthy scenes in the entirety of the franchise, but there's
the hell?
also a lot relating to Japan in the 80s that I just can't be quiet about.
Really?
You can handle all the ninja analysis with Nightbird, but as a 90s kid and lover of Japanese culture, let me just have
I mean,
a
technically,
little bit of
Transformers in
retrospective
itself
thought.
is Japanese.
Man, you're a lot chipper than normal. What's got your energy up?
That's true.
I'm telling you, man, it's the Helix mattress. Look, everyone,
Well-
regardless of sponsorships,
Okay.
this bed has been such a freaking godsend.
I need
to
a
my
new
lower back.
mattress, honestly.
Plus, I mean, just
Same.
look at Aki. I keep finding her periodically in this position whenever we wash our sheets. And
She's
look, I
asleep.
know you guys have
That's-
heard me yammering
that's
on
funny.
about Helix and past
Yeah.
generations, with this sponsored message not being very different, but some of you have mentioned that you just don't have the scratch to get a full-on new mattress.
Yeah.
Well, I got something cool that I want to show you, and the big reason I wanted to take on the sponsorship. Helix has rolled out 4 new mattress toppers. The dual
Ooh.
comfort topper for couples who have different sleep preferences, the Ergo Align topper for folks like myself who need
Nice.
firm lower back support, the premium topper for people who need hip and shoulder
My
relief,
bed
and
is not
finally,
very
the
comfortable,
premium
so I'll
memory
take
foam
it.
topper, which has that body melding ability to keep your body level and comfortable. I personally opted into the Ergo Align topper, as I'm not getting any younger and my back is reminding me of that constantly. And for being a mattress topper, it goes above and beyond what I've used prior to get a little extra
Nice.
comfort. What makes it help my lower back is that super dense foam between the waist and the calves, which adds extra support in the most needed place. Right in the lower back where I need the most spine support.
Ah.
And the really cool thing about these toppers, they're packed exactly like Helix's mattresses are. Delivered right to your front door in an incredibly easy to manage box, completely vacuum sealed, and all you really need to do is break the seal, unwind the packaging, and just let it floof right up.
Nice.
I can't speak on the other 3 as I haven't really tried them yet, but based on my experience with the Ergo line, if you can't get a completely new mattress, this is absolutely a worthwhile stopgap. But that being said, for the entire month of April, Helix is having a 20% site-wide sale, saving you upwards of $350 on their premier mattresses, which you've heard me talking about them several times before in past videos, and you know how much I love them. So if you want to start your spring cleaning off right with chucking out your old mattress for the best sleep you're ever going to get, or supplement what you have with Helix's best, hit up my link in the description and be sure to take their sleep test so you can get the exact kind of mattress that you need. Every mattress includes a 100-night sleep trial to make sure you're 100% happy with your order, with a 10-year warranty and free shipping in the US too. It really is some of the best sleep I've ever gotten, and it's got me absolutely fired up for today.
Well, good to know you're spry, because based on how long this episode's looking, there's a lot that we gotta tear into with not just Nightbird, but the entire episode in general.
Alright.
Like, just take the title of this episode, for example.
Enter the Nightbird.
This is obviously a shout out to 1981's Enter the Ninja.
Enter the
which,
Ninja.
Despite having average to poor reviews, this was one of the movies that truly helped Shinobi Fever take over the US.
Really?
Also, this movie is absolutely and unintentionally hilarious.
And now I'm gonna kill you.
Oh my god. Fucking look.
Getting into the episode proper, Wheeljack is working on yet another invention for the Autobots. Detection floor panels to stop intruders, and immediately I could not help but jump to conclusions. Are these based on the Japanese Ugui Subari nightingale floors that purposely squeak when walked over? Making it difficult, if not impossible, for ninjas skulking about to walk through them?
Yeah, but that was pretty short-lived as the Autobots are interrupted by a call from Dr. Fujiyama, the, quote, famous roboticist. Alright, for one, how in the world does this one random scientist in Japan have the Autobots on speed dial?
I have no idea.
Maybe I missed some character development in the comics or something, but
It's possible.
Also, Fujiyama? Really? Bro, this guy's name is literally Mount Fuji. I mean, technically Japan pronounces it Fujisan with the Onyomi reading of the mountain character for
Fujisan?
kanji, but Kunyomi is straight up Yama. Now, there is a surname of Fujiyama that's more like Westria Mountain, but it's not exactly all that common. Plus, this is the United States in the 80s. Not exactly
they don't
the
know
most
much about it.
enlightened time for the US when it comes to Japanese or even Asian culture in general. Shoot, the guy's name in the Japanese dub of Transformers is Hamada, so why didn't they just use that?
You know, who the heck voices Fujiyama anyway? Michael Bell.
What?
Ugh.
Who?
Well, I mean, a non-Asian voice acting as an Asian isn't the absolute end of the world. I mean, Phil Lamar voiced Samurai Jack.
Yeah, he
did.
did.
Pretty good
Yeah,
job.
He did an amazing
He did
job.
a really good job.
Bell voice. Duke from G.I. Joe.
What, really?
What?
Lance from Voltron. Drew
What?
Pickles.
Yeah.
Drew Pickles, what?
Make it stop.
I will say, though, that I don't find his portrayal to be all that bad. There were far worse depictions of Japanese people in the 80s. While Bell's accent strays into uncharted waters from time to time, the writing is pretty representative. He does have an appropriately deep bow for greetings and leavings, and the one thing that I noticed and really appreciate is how humble Dr. Fujiyama was, despite being this absolute progeny of robotics. He straight up says that his creation is nothing compared to Autobot tech while holding his hand behind his head. And if you know anything about Japanese sociological rules, it's that humility dang near runs the country. Doesn't matter if you're a CEO of a company. In a public space, talking to third-party individuals, you keep yourself humble. And I think Transformers actually did a good job here. Not to mention, considering Japanese electronic goods were dominating the US market in the 80s and the robot revolution Japan was going through at the time,
They had such a
Nightbird
boom
being made
there.
in Japan makes a lot of sense for the time.
Well, how about we talk about actual ninja in this Witch Ninja
Why are you
episode,
throwing
eh?
stuff at me,
At
I
Nightbird's unveiling, Optimus
You
casually
have it
asks,
coming now.
Oh my god. Welcome to the Copyright Corner, where I need audio context with... while I continue the Freakazoid running gag in order to understand this. Oh my god.
Damn.
Ah. Why am I?
Skill and daring? Sure. Assassins? Sometimes, Jazz, sometimes. Warrior? No. We've said it plenty of times before, but the concept of ninjutsu is not a martial art form.
Why not?
Granted,
It's not
lots
nice.
of ninja had martial arts training to supplement their skills, but for ninja, being dexterous, hyper-aware of your surroundings, having great physical endurance, and being resourceful were far more important skills than being good at combat.
Yeah.
And that's when we're finally introduced to Nightbird proper. And
Nightbird.
good lord almighty, just look at this gal's loadout. Not only is she by default carrying nunchaku in one hand, but she's got 2 swords on her back and sai on each forearm. Oh god, Nightbird really is an 80s ninja, isn't she? I thought
Probably.
to myself. I mean, ninja have always been equated to exotic-looking weapons like these,
Yeah.
especially in the 80s, but nunchaku and sai were products of China brought to Okinawa and the Ryukyu Islands.
Ah, I
They didn't
see.
hit popularity in the mainland until well after the golden age of ninja during the Sengoku Jidai Warring States period. And not to mention, these weren't exactly super popular martial weapons in Japan either, considering the reach of the Yari, Naginata, and even the Tachi was
Yep.
superior to any of these. But Nightbird has none of these staple weapons. Not even Kama or Kusarigama, which were pop culture staples of Shinobi.
More copyright old man
Another-
to sniper
oh,
says,
God.
why build a ninja robot, Doctor? Isn't it dangerous? To which the state sniper was constructed to see how far human rocks would go, not created in order to bring harm to humanity. But as evidence what it can do, yeah.
What? You built a ninja robot? Complete with size-appropriate nunchaku, sai, and tachi on her back, completely capable of infiltration and combat. And the answer of to why boils down to, because I want to see if I could?
I mean,
Alright,
a lot of people
whatever sell
would.
these toys, Hasbro,
Yeah.
I guess.
Long action scene short, Megatron makes off with Nightbird, and dude, this is where it just gets weird. I know it's not related to Japan or ninjas, but I cannot help but point out how much Megatron and Optimus have this weird thing for Nightbird.
What?
I guess for Optimus it makes more sense. I mean, he promised Fujiyama he'd get Nightbird back unscathed, but man,
Yeah.
does he go about not wanting to hurt Nightbird pretty intimately. And then Megatron, man.
Well,
this
these
is
guys
the
in
first
the
and only
80s.
time I've ever seen Megatron get this emotionally invested in anyone besides himself. In fact, the C-plot of this episode is Starscream getting jealous that Nightbird will replace him as Megatron's right-hand man. To the point where
Yeah.
Starscream ends up being the one to stop Nightbird, and instead of continuing to fight and getting the episode's MacGuffin, Megatron turns around to chase down Starscream for harming Nightbird. Again, I
It's
know this
weird.
has nothing to do with ninjas or Japan, but I think the comments section would have had a meltdown if I didn't point this out.
Anyway, after some
I don't think
upgrades and
they did, but
reprogramming,
yeah.
Megatron sends out Nightbird on her mission to steal the world energy chip from the Autobots and then eliminate them. Which she honestly never tries to do the latter. I mean, infiltrating and stealing are her main objectives, and that's actually what makes her a far better ninja than I anticipated. Heck, it's not just her objective, but the way she goes about it is actually really, really surprising to me. Because if Nightbird was a stereotypical 80s ninja, she'd jump through a window dramatically and start beating the ever-loving crap out of every Autobot on her way to the chip she came to steal.
Yeah.
But no. She uses an integrated Kaginawa, one of the Shinobi Rokuku, or 6 key tools of the ninja, in order to climb up top and work her way down, capitalizing on another known Shinobi technique of hidden traversal, the Tanuki Gakure no Jutsu.
Yeah.
See, people tend to only pay attention to about a 45-degree angle to their vision. Thus, ninja
Yeah,
would
we don't
sneak
look
about
up that
in
often.
evening fashion, trying to stay in that psychological blind spot. Oftentimes in trees, which mirrors the way Tanuki would climb, forage, and hang out in trees as well.
Yeah.
Thus the name. And give the gal credit, ladies and gentlemen, she capitalizes on this remarkably well as she perches above Spike and Prowl of all Autobots. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
everyone, I know Prowl is also a Shinobi Transformer. I'll get to him,
I
alright?
mean, but he's not
There's
here.
a lot of his lore to dig through. And just a few more moments in the episode, and oh man, there's the Chekhov's gun of the episode, the
Oh,
sensor
yeah.
panels. I wonder if Nightbird's gonna do some kind of ninja stereotype of long jumping them and possibly far and... Oh. Well, shut me up then. Those are ashiko. Well, they're more like maglock boots, but symbolically she's using ashiko. In conjunction with shuko, these were
Yeah.
essentially cleats for a ninja's hands and feet in order to climb up dirt, stone, or even wood. Granted, ninja couldn't walk upside down like Nightbird can, but
I
they
mean-
could climb a lot of different surfaces with these
Yeah.
two tools. I gotta say, too, Nightbird is surprisingly good at staying hidden despite being a 30-foot tall robot. And she
Yeah.
jacks that world energy chip fast, but she's quickly caught by Mirage, who's in too much shock to notice being punched in the freaking throat, preventing
Oh.
him from verbally calling out for help. And that's yet another thing in Nightbird's
Oh yeah,
favor in terms of
did.
being a real
She now
ninja.
has a toy.
You'd expect an 80s ninja to just quickly dispatch any enemy with over-the-top, overpowered strikes, right? But Nightbird goes directly for a weak point and the one thing that would keep Mirage from calling for help. She's trying to
Target locked.
disorient Mirage
Throw a
and make a quick
punch.
getaway
Pretty
rather
much.
than just straight up ending him.
I mean, that's
Well
an
done.
effective way to
But
do it.
after Mirage trips a base alarm, Optimus and the Autobots have her cornered when... Okay.
She's a robot.
I mean, I guess I can let this slide. Ninja loved using integrated and hidden weapons, so why should this be any... Oh, they're just shuriken stand-ins.
Yeah.
Oh, okay then.
What?
Alright, I know that may have seemed really freaking weird to everyone, but that was a legit shinobi jutsu. Now, I know a lot of you have heard of the Shunshin no Jutsu from stuff like
No.
Naruto, but when combined with a
Yeah.
Metsubushi of sorts, it was a solid psychological escape trick.
Basically, it's
Now,
throwing something in someone's
Metsubushi
eyes
or
and making
eye
a flash
closers
of light.
Or anything that performed its namesake.
Yeah.
Packages of
You just have
pepper,
to keep
dust, and
people's
dirt
eyes
blown
off
at
of
the
you.
face, blown into the eye, or even something like a Bakuchiku firecracker with substantial light and sound. These
Pocket
things were
sand,
used
more or
to
less.
stun the senses of the opponent, and while they're
Pocket
reeling,
sand!
the ninja would quickly move to escape. The trick here is fabricating the perception of time.
Yeah.
Someone who had their senses overstimulated will be in psychological shock for a brief moment, which, once their senses return to them, the
He's
whole
just a
ordeal
mess.
would only feel like a moment
Pocket
when it's actually
sand.
been
Oh my
several
God.
seconds. Thus, to find
Bye.
the ninja nowhere to be seen or seen very far away now gives the perception of
I
teleportation.
mean, smoke bombs
It's
is
really neat stuff,
a
and
pretty
despite
good-
the fact that Nightwing
Yeah.
does it
It's-
spinning around like Linda Carter,
thing.
I mean,
It's-
it's goofy, but it's legit.
It's a
Nightbird
flashbang,
ultimately escapes, but it's
more or
tracked
less.
down by
Yeah.
the Autobots, who were able to get a clean shot in her back, knocking her out. However,
He was playing
She was
Robot
playing-
Possum.
Roboto Possum?
Roboto
Second of all,
Possum.
Possum.
Ninja never played Possum.
Really?
Hiding in plain sight using techniques like the Uzura Gakure no Jutsu were one thing, but the absolute last thing a ninja would allow to happen is for their enemies to draw closer to them, usually carrying spears, knowing
Yeah.
exactly that this is a targeted ninja. Maybe I'm wrong, but I've never heard of a single shinobi
Possum.
jutsu that boiled down to playing possum just to let your enemies
Possums
get
are
close.
kind of cute,
Because
though.
when your enemies get close, you're usually dead. This, though,
Yeah.
this is something that makes Nightbird pretty ninja. See, she's got all these different compartments for storing tools on her person or just shove stolen goods in like the energy chip, right?
Yeah?
Well, this mirrors a shinobi's mean sneaking Shozoku really well. Because if there's anything that a shinobi Shozoku has, it's pockets. With upwards of 6 different pockets sewn into the uagoromo of the outfit. Whether it was to put protective plating in front of vital organs or the transportation of tools or stolen items, Shinobi
Yep.
had more pockets than a pair of 2015 cargo shorts. I mean, wait, why did Nightbird steal Optimus's rifle?
Over that corner, it said that the
No, dude, that's not a thing with ninja. Are we
I didn't even
confusing
say
ninja
it.
with samurai again? Because, yeah,
Yeah.
samurai would take the heads of defeated enemies as proof of victory to their generals and daimyo in order to get paid, so to speak, but
Yeah.
habitual kleptomania was never a thing with ninja. Anyway, the Autobots track down Nightbird again, and... Oh, Nightbird, you're starting to lose your ninja cred. And sticking around to brawl in a 7-on-1 fight, yeah, not the best idea for a ninja.
Yeah.
It's weird. Nightbird went from staying focused on the mission and not getting tangled up in fights before, but now she's starting to fall into that invincible ninja trope of just countering everything the Autobots throw at her with random bullcrap. But give
I
the show
mean,
credit, like
random
any ninja
bullcrap
would,
go.
she's quickly overpowered and captured, prompting Megatron to come and save her as the C-plot with Starscream wraps up.
Oh.
Man, that is still so freaking weird. But you know how it goes. The
Yeah.
Decepticons are stopped and Nightbird's returned to Dr. Fujiyama, who plans to put
Thank
Nightbird in permanent
you.
storage.
Oh, we got thank you for a follow.
But... all in all,
What?
considering just how ludicrous the 80s and 90s ninja craze
Keep doing
portrayed
it, Mike.
ninjas
Throw
being this
more
ultimate
stuff at
badass
me.
Oh my
unstoppable
God.
warrior, I think G1 Transformers actually did a decent job.
Yeah.
There's very obviously a lot of one-to-one inspirations going on here. And even when it feels like Nightbird was getting a little too one-man army-ish, there were actual negative consequences to it.
Yeah.
Despite obviously not looking
Except
like
by
it, she did
I,
act
my
like a
bird,
historical
get
ninja
loved.
would.
What?
And you know, in
Well, nice
retrospect,
to meet
the
ya.
fact that she never did
Hi,
use
Boney.
her trope weapons like the nunchuck or sai, and that she was completely silent the entire time, never giving away her voice, I think all of this made her pretty historically solid. Her design might be 80s over-the-top tropes through and through, but her actions or inactions were pretty ninja. Either way, thanks for watching, everyone, and a big thanks to Helix for sponsoring this video. If you want to grab a brand new mattress, or even just one of Helix's prime mattress toppers with a 20% site-wide sale, check out our link in the description.
That would be nice.
Finally, the biggest thank you to our patrons. Seriously, I love the fact that you all want to hear about this absolute relic of a nostalgic ninja, rather than all this new modern stuff that we got going on. Hopefully
kinda
we will
crazy.
get into some of this newer stuff.
There's
but
always gonna
Blizzard
be
back to
ninja
the
stuff
80s
coming
was an
out,
absolute
honestly.
gas. So
Yeah.
if you want to learn even more about Japan through your favorite games, anime, movies, and more, sub up, get notified, and until next time, everyone, this is Gaijin Goomba, signing out.
See ya, Gaijin. So, what did you guys think of Nightbird?
That was pretty
He's,
cool.
Interesting.
Ninja San.
So, I have to
Not
end
every
things off
character
here,
in a
but
fighting
we'll watch some more stuff maybe later tonight, and I'll see all of you later. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more, and yeah, we'll see you later. Bye-bye. Nice to meet you. Name's Bonesy. Bonesy the bat dude. Well, nice to meet you, Bonesy.